and Indiana Republican Congressman Marlin Stutzman. His district is a beneficiary of the president's desire to build the Golden Dome. Gentlemen, thanks for being with us here tonight. Congressman, first off, let's note, a Democrat and a Republican sitting here and willing and wanting to do this together. So thank you both.
Always good.
Yes, it is.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
And a handshake, too. This is a big decision before the president. How do you view this?
You know, I hope the president talks about his plans around Iran, what the intentions are. Is this about regime change? Is this about making sure Iran doesn't have nuclear capabilities? I think all of us in a bipartisan way don't want to see a nuclear-armed Iran, because that would just set up a nuclear arms race, destabilize the region. So we support the actions to make sure Iran never gets a nuclear weapon. If we're going to go to war, though, this is going to be a lot more complicated than Venezuela. I think our military executed a flawless operation there. This will be much more difficult. And I think if that's where we're going, he's got to prepare the American people for what could be a prolonged issue. But he also, my belief is he's got to come to Congress, brief the relevant committees on this. I'm glad that, you know, probably the Gang of Eight had a briefing today. But we've got to be involved here.
So here was Chuck Schumer, the top Democrat in the Senate earlier today, Congressman, and then we'll pick it up from there.
This is serious, and the administration has to make its case to the American people.
So you heard some of that there from your colleague here. One of the questions is, for the Republican side of the aisle, how is this America first? How does that square with that?
Yeah.
To that question, you would say what?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think that President Trump, he does have a tough decision. I mean, but Iran has continually been a thorn, not only in our side, but in the Middle East and the regional, the side of the region in that area. And so I think that the fact that it is about security from a national level, but also with our allies, my hope is that President Trump is building an international coalition. I do hope that we see this regime toppled. There's been too many Iranian people that have died in hopes for a regime change. These people have put up with so much brutality and so much oppression that this is a moment in time. We had this back in 2014 when the Arab Spring was creeping up. We thought that that might be the tipping point. So these moments don't come along very often. So I hope that it happens now. And I know that President Trump is a strong leader that will put our country first, but making sure that our men and women are safe if they do something.
Congressman, you are not attending tonight.
I'm not.
You are one of a group of Democrats. Do you know the final number, give or take, how many it might be?
I hear it's about 70 right now.
70?
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
I'm still working on it.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
Look, you come on the show all the time, and you will often say, I applaud President Trump and Republicans for whatever it may be. So you're not an extremist, right, on your side of the aisle, but you are choosing to not go tonight. How do you justify that? Why? This is an American tradition.
You know, so it's not an easy decision. Okay. You know, I respect the office of the presidency, but I've also seen in recent weeks and really over the past 12 months a combative president. You know, certainly combative with the Democratic Party. I saw the antics that our side did in the last State of the Union. I think it's going to be worse tonight. I don't think that's the right forum for protests to take place. I've chosen not to go because I do think the president is going to try to goad Democrats into, making some public protests here. And again, I don't think it's the right venue. I also think he's got to work more closely with Congress.
So, look, you guys are being friendly and are friendly, and I think there's probably some folks at home who are watching this and are like, why can't Congress be more like this, be more normal, just like be humans, right? And sit here and talk to each other. What exactly do you think Democrats and Republicans can work on, or is the reality here, Congressman Stutzman, November's around the corner, and the answer is nothing?
Well, actually, just a couple of weeks ago, we passed a big housing package out of the House of Representatives, and there were only 9 members that voted against it. So, housing is a big issue. President Trump has been talking about housing and affordability for the American people, making sure we protect the American dream. That was a bill that came out of financial services that I sit on. We did pass a big package.
Does that get to the finish line? Because, not to get too into the weeds, but the Senate has some issues. The president wants his own items involved. Does that end up getting to his desk?
I mean, I hope so. Of course, between the House and the Senate, there's always differences of opinion. We often say that the Senate is really the problem.
Right.
But no, I think that we all realize that housing is a real issue, that Republicans and Democrats, we showed that we could do it in the House of Representatives. Hopefully they'll do it in the Senate.
Look, I hope the president talks about affordability today. I hope he sticks to the script and the teleprompter. We've all got constituents that can't afford their rent, their mortgage. It's harder to put food on their table, pay for their health insurance benefits. If we actually met in the center, we could actually solve a lot of these issues. And, it's what the public wants us to do.
Yeah. All right.
So,
we'll leave it there. Congressman Barrett.
Great, thank you.
Sir. Congressman Stutzman with us tonight. And again, Democrat, Republican, sitting down here on the Hill.